Hello, everyone. Welcome to On the Air Sickle. My name is OD. I am the executive director and host of this awesome podcast. So happy to have you all here. Listen, we have another great episode for you featuring the one and only Whitney Carter. She was a participant of the When They See Us campaign earlier this year for World Sickle Cell Day. We had several participants come in and they were able to see we were able to see them in healthy stages as well as battling and fighting with the sickle cell disease process. She's our next guest live on the air, and that show is coming at you right now.
On the air, Sickle, you are never alone. Together we're stronger. Together we've grown. On the air, Sickle, where love shines through. Awareness, compassion for me and you. On the air, Sickle.
Hello again, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the show. Before we jump in, I just want to make sure that I address the mental health video that you saw earlier. I want you to know that at On the Air Sickle, we recognize the weight that sickle cell disease places not only on the body, but also on the mind. We actively support mental health by creating spaces for honesty, advocacy, and connection, reminding every warrior and family member that you are seen and you are understood and that you are simply never alone. Listen, I want you all to know that on the Air Sickle, our team has decided to launch a on the Air Sickle support group with our chaplain. That will be happening in October, actually. So the first week in October, please make sure that you tune into our social media handles on our website as well. We want to make sure that everyone understands that you do not have to fight this thing called sickle cell by yourself. There are many of us, and with many, there is support. And so Chaplain Alston, who is our chaplain here, is launching the effort to bring us all together. So if you are a guest on the show previously, or if you're just simply part of the sickle cell community as a patient, as a family member, as a caregiver, we want you to be part of the support group. So make sure that you stay tuned for live updates on that. In the meantime, let's bring in our co-host, Miss Erin Washington.
Hi, how y'all doing today? Y'all excited to hear Whitney's story? Because I know I am.
I know, right? I am too. Listen, if we could put her images up, we had so many people participate in this campaign, and Whitney was one of the first of them to do so. That is a few of our of the participants. There she is, Miss Whitney Carter, and so just excited to hear her story and how she's lived her life, how she's accomplished her goals. She's a mother, she's a warrior, she's a entrepreneur. So I'm just super excited to have her on to really talk about her story. Before we do that, let's talk about our sponsors.
Our sponsor is the Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy. Thank you so much for always sponsoring us, keeping our thoughts in mind, and also being that back pocket voice that every sickle cell warrior needs. Actually, I think tomorrow is our first class. So if you didn't register for that class, you better, because I'll be there and I cannot wait to learn and get more knowledge about what true advocacy is. And hearing Dr. Simone's voice and talking to her, ooh, I cannot wait.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sickle cell medical advocacy. Listen, you do not have to fight the emergency room and the doctors by yourself. Understand that if you need support, you need someone to navigate the system for you. Simply connect with Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy at www.sicklecellmedicaladvocacy.org. And a member from their team will reach out to you, get some information from you, and make sure that they will speak to the doctors and the nurses on your behalf. All right. It is World Sickle Cell Month. Of course, today's weather is a high of 85, low of 65. So make sure that you have your water. I know it's a teacup here, but I got my water I'm drinking. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Make sure that you're taking your medication. Tomorrow's weather, we have a high of 83 and a low of 67. So make sure that it's a little warm, but the seasons are changing. So adjust accordingly. All right, Aaron, are you ready for our guest?
I'm so ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I present to some and introduce to others the one, the only, Whitney Carter. You are live on the air.
I'm live. Hi, guys.
You are. Hi, Whitney. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your story. You decided to join the When They See Us campaign. Did you see it online? What made you decide to go ahead and put your images out there?
I actually saw it online. I'm an Instagram girly, so I be lurking sometimes. But yeah, I did see it online, and I thought it was interesting. When I saw the series of When They See Us. Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah,
And
I saw it.
yeah, so I was like, this is cool to, re-envision it with sickle cell. And I think I mean, I wouldn't say, hi, I'm here on the podcast now, but, reaching out and wanting to hear, my story. But I am a writer, and my sister is the reason, is my why, and me as well. I found that out as well. So once I got to learning myself, learning my disease, learning this disease, sickle cell, it's just unpredictable. And sometimes you have to do a deep dive and, let everybody else out, and while you take, all of you in. But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, never expected to be a mother. Never to, I mean, a mother of 3. I mean, so
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
all of the complications, all of the, side bias, medical, personal, it caused family strain sometimes. But I'm so helpful. Grateful to have a helpful support system, through the struggles and all of the, disappointment as well. So.
How when did you learn that or how long have you been dealing with sickle cell? Were you born with it? Or were you treated later?
Yeah, I was a pediatric patient in the sickle cell unit. I was raised and born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So my pediatric days normally was spent in Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center, Children's Hospital. It was with St. Jude, so we did a little more. But with the adult center now. I still receive treatment in Baton Rouge right now. I haven't found a sickle cell doctor here in Beaumont where I moved. So I am with pain management and a primary care out here, and they do coordinate with the physician in Louisiana. So,
Wow.
so I've been living 39 years. I am celebrating my 40th birthday this year.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
Yes,
congratulations.
I am.
Yes.
And when I say it out loud, I'm like, "Ugh."
You still young. You still young.
When I say it out loud, it's like, what? Because my kids are so mean. And they told my husband that he was a unk now, and he's younger than me. So,
Oh, wow.
how is he the unk? Like,
That is
what makes him
hilarious.
unk? So, I don't know. These kids nowadays are
I know something else. So
scary. They're scary. They're
you you have an organization called Red Stick Sickle Cell
Yes,
Group.
yes, I
Tell us a
did.
little bit about that.
I formed that group. That's my why. My sister is my why. And I formed that group because when I would say it happened, her complications began. She was doing great, everything was progressing. And then it was just that blink of an eye here one day and gone the other. So we know it was because of sickle cell complications. We know because this, everything that they would give us book related, but it was more than that. It was deeper than that. And I feel like we didn't get the opportunity to actually, get to advocate for her because nobody knew anything. And the doctor was nowhere to be found. So it's kind of my why I advocate, why I started the group, to amplify voices of sickle cell warriors that, feel unseen, unheard. And my sister was a timid girl. Her name was Raven. She was very timid, but she was also outspoken. And that's one thing that I admire most about her strength, her resilience, and ways that she still fought the disease because my journey was totally opposite of hers. I would spend days in pediatric and I'm sick, I'm up playing, but then it's like her, she's always down, but she still wanted to do this and do that. She was the first one to get on a plane. She was the first one. So it's kind of like a lot of things that frightened me because they said I couldn't do it. I didn't do it. I kind of shied away from it. So I would see her push, and do things even despite what sickle cell would do to her, how it would break her down. And my scare came when I was, I think, 22 years old. And the doctor said the blood transfusion isn't helping. And I'm like, what? I'm just, fresh out of pediatric. I'm by myself. My mom is still there. My support system is still there. It's just like me independent now. So when all of the questions came, all of the, you know, I don't know, this just, I don't know. Am I talking too much?
No,
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 you're
no.
Much.
Absolutely
Okay,
not.
that you gonna get into because I
Yeah.
just, I just feel like, red stick sickle cell is the root of where I'm from. Red stick is for Baton Rouge. It is red stick in French. So
Mm,
um, I started there because that's the root. There are a lot of places you go to in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, it will say red stick, red stick. But I didn't try to just take the mark. I just wanted that to be grassrooted because this is something where me and my sister, we grew up, we lived there, we played there, and it's kind of like if I go somewhere else, I want to take that beacon, the baton, which is baton, with me. So I want to spread that along um, the road, just, pass it along to other warriors to speak their honest truth and their story because it matters. It helps someone, it opens your eyes. It's kind of like, I didn't go through this. So let me tell my story because maybe it'll help someone, get
Mm-hmm.
over their fear or get over, their, I guess, create strength within them that they didn't know they had. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I,
I
Yeah.
was doing some research actually yesterday about your prophet, and I love that you named it Stick a Sickle Cell.
yeah,
Like I literally call my challenges with sickle cell a hurdle. And my sister Taylor, she was a track star.
yeah,
So me putting that together, and I love that you did it for your sister.
yeah,
I will had no idea what it'll be like, not just me battling through sickle cell, but my siblings as well. I would have been, happy because they won't ask me questions like, what does it feel like when you have a crisis? It feels like all my bones are shattering like glass. But knowing that I had a sister who just doesn't feel the crisis, but we got to be strong together, makes
Mm.
it more willing. And like I said, I love that you made this beautiful nonprofit and help other warriors not just jump that hurdle, but make it into an easy Olympic sport
yeah.
so we can finish it all with great power together.
Yes. Yes. I do want to say that, Whitney, you have um, this sense of determination that you want to get the message out there. I can feel that, right? And not only are you using your own experiences, but these are opportunities where your kids can kind of see your fight and see, how you're navigating it all. Tell us a little bit more about your kids. What are the experiences that they've seen you kind of go through and battle, and what are their perspectives on your fight?
Well, my children are kind of still growing through it. Um, my, let me see. I have a son. He's 16 now. My daughter, middle child, is 14. And then I have a daughter who is 8. Cadence, youngest, Raylan, middle, and then Christian, the oldest. They all have different personalities. So it's kind of, you know, where I am right now, managing the different personalities. When they
Yeah.
were younger, it was easier, to manage. I would say my two oldest had more of the experience of mom not being there when they were younger because of the impact sickle cell would take on me. It wouldn't be just crisis. I would be hospitalized for when I was a adult. It would lead to something else. So it would
Mm,
basically like a crisis. I have genotype SS, so they say it's the most severe type. I
mm.
talked to my mom the other day. She said it could have changed. I don't think it changes, mom. So that's that's another reason why educating is very important. I'm not saying that, I just want you to know, mom. Okay, it doesn't change. Um, so when
Public service
I,
announcement.
I said to myself, well, if this is the most severe kind, I don't get hospitalized that often. But when I do, it's more deeper than that. It's like a infection, and that's what sickle cell patients are more prone to as well. So when they notice mom is not there, grandma is there, Dad is there, uncle is there, you know, they're there. Maybe mom is sick, but they don't know the capacity because they were still to
Mm,
young to understand.
gotcha.
As I formed, I would say red stick sickle cell, they're now just getting to see that as a, wholeness to mom and, a entity of its own as well. But they're getting involved. I don't know if you guys saw the video with the Operation Snuggles. That's what we are doing for this month, Sickle Cell Awareness Month, providing comfort and support to those living with sickle cell by purchasing the teddy bear on our storefront. But they got involved with that. They were excited about that. They're excited about walks that we go to and other functions and events. My youngest, I updated my website. If you go to my website, you'll see her on there. She was actually at a sickle cell awareness event with me at the hospital. I was invited to mend the table and give out education awareness to those that came through the health fair through the hospital. And she's standing there on the picture with a pom pom. It was like during football season. And she's older than that now, more outspoken than that now. And I don't know, you don't know what's gonna come out her mouth. But I would say they're very kind to mom when, it does happen. Like when I'm in a crisis, they'll flock around to see if I'm okay. They'll give me some water. They'll make sure I'm, the heating pad is plugged up. And my youngest, she's always trying to rub my feet. I'm like, please. And I'm like, cause she's so helpful. She has to do something. And that's the impact I see as a mother from my children living with sickle cell. So yeah, they're very kind and compassionate during that time.
It's it's interesting how children don't realize how helpful they are being when they are trying to, comfort us as parents. I remember actually the day that I got married, I was in a crisis. So the backstory, I'm an activities director in my profession, right? And so we didn't have a planner for our wedding. It was me. I was a decorator, and and I was like, yes, I need that there. I need that there. Okay, let's get started. Yeah, that was me. So, I told everybody, hey, we got to be at the church by a certain time. And I just remember waking up that morning and could not move. Could not move. My back was hurting, in pain, and my oldest actually came to me and laid next to me and started rubbing my back. Um, and not too long after that, I actually was feeling better, prayed for me and everything like that. It was really, really cool. And I was not missing. I was gonna go limp at the altar if I needed to, but I was not missing that opportunity, right? So, but it just goes to show that children, will do what they need to do to make sure mom, dad feels good. They don't want to see us in pain, just like any other human being, any other family member. But that's good to see. That's good to see. Um, Tell me about a little bit more about when you are in the hospital, when those episodes do happen. I have SS too. Where's your primary pain most of the time?
It's mainly chest. It's mainly like the acute chest. I still produce fetal hemoglobin, so my crises are kind of manageable at home. I haven't really been in the hospital, but when I do, I know it's going to be for the long haul because
Mm,
they're going to find an infection. They're going to find this. They're going to say this. Even when I moved here, and I range about 6'5", 6.58 with my hemoglobin. And my doctor, when she got my labs back from my hematologist, she was calling me, and I was like, why is a doctor calling me on the weekend? So she got my labs back, and she said that your hemoglobin is low. I want to go ahead and set you up for a transfusion. And I'm like, no, I declined it because I know now, since 22, no blood transfusion. I can receive some type of transfusion. I think it's like um I'm given a steroid, and then I'm given I'm not sure what type of liquid this is, but it's a long obnoxious name that this doctor called the antibody that is in my body that builds a defense mechanism up to, when you give me blood. So it's kind of like my body is fighting harder because it thinks that you're here invading its space.
Hmm.
So that's the best he could explain it to me. It starts with the H, ends with an S, and it's so many letters in between. But he said I was one of two patients that he treated with that rarity in sickle cell disease. And so every now and then when I'm rushed to the hospital, ER, they want to immediately give me blood. And I'm like, no. And it's not because I, you know, am saying no, 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 because I know the effects of a blood transfusion, too many blood transfusions. No, I'm not saying that. It's just I know that my body is going to take it as the enemy. And when I'm in there, it's kind of like you don't know what's happening behind the walls. So you're scared, and someone comes in the room and says, "Hi, Whitney," and it's like, okay, what is it? Is it more blood? Is it this? Is it that? So it's kind of like being there develops a sense of stress, and I feel like that's why so many warriors are still there. And when my crisis is hit, or my sickle cell affects my body, I'm there for a whole weekend, a whole 2 weeks, or even a month. I've heard doctors whispering outside my door in the ICU saying she could have lupus too. And I'm like, what? Like, it's so confusing. You guys are just practicing. So I have to start telling myself that more and more. So when you guys practice and tell me this, I'm going to go home. I'm going to use my computer. I'm going to use those library cards and everything to go and research this thing. But if I knew the name of that syndrome that my doctor told me the antibody causes, when my body builds up this mechanism for whatever it does, I mean, I'll let you know. But right now, it's really confusing. Sickle cell is confusing, and every time you go to the hospital, you hear something new. So
Wow.
it's crazy.
I
It's
I'm,
crazy.
I wanted to try to look it up, and I can't find it either.
Yeah,
Um,
it's in my records, but they say because it's over 10 years, it's kind of hard to find. So I'm thinking about going to a deep dive in the medical history archives downtown, maybe where I'm from. Maybe it's there, but it's on file because before um, we moved from my mom's, her house was destroyed in a flood. I had that paperwork, but I don't have it anymore. And since I've been
oh,
trying to find it, I've had no luck. And Louisiana is really, yeah. I don't like to talk down about where I'm from, but it's really, I love Louisiana. I love the food. The food is the greatest. If you've never been, please go. But with archives, medical, it's hard because I haven't even gotten my medical history from my for my son, and he just made 16. Because it's
oh
over 10
wow.
years, it's hard to find. And the hospital is no longer there that he was born at. So wow. I mean, I have no other choice but to go and do a deep dive. So
Hmm.
look at dusty old books and stuff like that.
I would
I'll go to Louisiana just to see you.
So I was looking up something here, and, and it's not. It doesn't start with an H,
What does
but
it say?
uh, uh, I am not even gonna alloy immunization. I don't know. Anyway,
It's a long word. I promise you,
when a
it's
sickle
that
cell
long.
patient's body rejects a blood transfusion.
Expialidocious long. That's how long it. And he told me that I should keep. He gave me a card. I should keep this on me. So if anybody tries to, give you a blood transfusion, this would be an explanation. And I'm like, how do you expect me to keep up with this card? Did you put it in my file? Like, what was this? What was the, what was the reason? What was the reason? But no one can find it. But my doctor recently did do an antibody test when I recently visited the hematologist, and she did confirm that there is an antibody in my blood, multiple antibodies as that. So the syndrome that he named it, I'm not sure if it was made up. It was something that's really there, but I've been in the NIH and the blood, disorders archives, and I've been trying to find it. So don't think I've been laying dormant on it. So I've been, when I find it and come across it, and I think I've found it, but I'm not sure. So
Mm,
I want to do a little bit more research and see if that's what it is, because I mean, I understand that sickle cell SS and sickle cell SC is completely different, but internally, I feel like it affects my body way more than it does outwardly, because my pain is manageable at home. But when, like I said, when it's deep, I'm in the hospital for days, weeks at a time, and it's kind of like that's the downside of me living with sickle cell. I'm in the hospital because it's no life in the hospital. You can be virtual, I can't go on family retreats, I can't go to family dinners, I can't, do things with my family that I want to do. Um, so that's how I feel most times when I'm locked up in that jail. It just
yeah.
gave me chills because that's how I feel.
When was the last time that you were hospitalized?
I would say hospitalized. I was hospitalized for a weekend in 20, what is this, 2020, 2023, 2022. It was about 4 years ago. It was about three,
Oh
four
wow.
years ago. And I only spent it in the hospital for the weekend. So I remember spending that year, what was it? Halloween in the hospital. So
Ooh.
I mean, it was not something I really was like, oh yeah, Halloween. No, I mean, I got the kind of candy. Everybody says candy corn sucks. I like candy corn.
I
Maybe
love
because
candy
I'm
corn
a
too.
fall girl, I like fall because my birthday is in the fall. I don't really like Halloween because I've been frightened ever since my dad took us trick or treating, and I saw this man, and he looked like this ogre, like this. He looked, I didn't know if it was makeup. I didn't know if it was real. I didn't know. I didn't want to make it like it was a handicap. It was just so confused. And as a child, you bring up so many questions that your parents tell you, just don't say nothing. Like, you understand it. You're like, why? And I'm like, because I have so many questions, mom. And it's like, is he real? Like, do I say that out loud? But no, it was kind of like that moment. And my dad took us trick-or-treating, and I do remember that vividly. And I'm like, I don't care too much for Halloween anymore. I don't like scary movies anymore, because it's an illusion that they give off in the movies. And it's like, yeah, do I see that lurking in the corner when I lay my head on my pillow at night? But it's kind of, and then your grandmother never told you ghost stories until you went to bed. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you stressing me out? So it's kind of like that. So I mean, I went to a haunted house once, and It was on a date, and this guy paid for it. I was like, okay, well, fine, it's fine. I went through the first portion, and I was like, no, I'll pay you your money back, but I'm not doing this because being scared stresses me out because I don't know what's real, what's not real. So it's just, yeah. Sorry.
You
Wow.
know what? When I was a kid, I couldn't really trick or treat so much because it got too cold. But
Yeah.
after me and my siblings got finished trick or treating, my mother, my father, and my grandma would empty out all the candy that we earned and then gave it to the kids in the hospital. I was really, really mad when I was a kid. But then once I had to experience, me spending holidays in the hospital, not being able to go out, I understand it. We had to, check and make sure no person put no razors in a Twizzler. But other than that, I now understand it since I got older.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to do that, yeah. That's why we only used to go to church, Hallelujah night. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was
right.
that one time my dad decided to take us trick or treating, and I saw a demon. So I don't know.
Maybe that was strategic.
Maybe it was meant to be. I don't know. Maybe it meant to scare the life out of me to, I don't know.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
I don't know.
Well, listen, this is a moment where for every episode, I try to give the spotlight to our guests to be able to speak to the audience about whatever is on your heart, encourage the sickle cell community, share some information, whatever you want our audience members to know. Now is your time. So Aaron and I are going to remove ourselves, and you are going to be live on the air.
So thank you again for having me on this episode of the podcast Sickle Cell Group. I'm sorry, but anyway, I was live. Thank you so much for having me. This is my first time being on a podcast. I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and I would encourage you all to know more about me, what my life was during the pandemic. I do have all of those stories on my website, which is at www.warriorspeakout.org. And there is a blog that I host there on that site. You can learn more and connect with me on that. We do have an initiative this month. Sickle cell is sickle cell awareness. So we decided to, as we're a sickle cell group, to launch Operation Snuggles. If you want to learn more about that initiative, that is on the website as well. And go donate, support, and share if you can. Thank you so much. I messed up my introduction.
It's okay.
It is okay.
I didn't prepare a speech, so it was kind of like, and then he was like, "You're live on the air," and I'm like, "What?"
No pressure.
Now we be cheating though because we got the name on our shirt.
I got it in the background.
I deleted y'all stuff, and I'm like, I can just be on the air. You're live right now on the air.
Oh man, I have never laughed so much during the broadcast. This is hilarious. Listen, Whitney, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again for participating in the When They See Us campaign. And if we can just one more time, just throw her photos up there. That's Whitney Carter, ladies and gentlemen. She is again a mom. She's a warrior, a community health worker, a writer, blogger, massage therapist. We didn't even tap into that.
I haven't even told the story. That's another story, but yeah.
That's a whole nother story. That's all right. There'll be a part 2. But Whitney Carter, ladies and gentlemen, again, Whitney, thank you so much for joining us on the Air Sickle. We're going to put you into the green room. Don't leave us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Aaron, what's your thoughts?
So amazing.
She was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to get into the massage therapist thing because I know a lot of people that morph their pain into massage therapy.
Really?
It's fun to punch out other people. So
I I don't know. It just became violent or encouraging. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the On the Air Sickle podcast. I'm OD.
And I'm Erin.
And I just want you to remember that you are never alone. Please, please, please feel free to follow us on our website at www.ontheairsickle.com. On there, you can go to the website and you can click the share my story link. You could be the next guest live on the air. Also, there's an opportunity for you to donate to our organization. You can either donate through PayPal or Zelle at On the Air Sickled OD. And then for Zelle, it is the Gmail account, which is On the Air Sickled at gmail.com. Also, please understand that when you donate, you are donating into good soil. We have a 3-layered vision here at On the Air Sickled. The first one is for On the Air Sickled's continued growth and development. As you can see, outside of previous seasons, we now have a co-host. We have an executive producer who is handling all the things that you see on the screen. Our chaplain is with us. We have social website coordinator. So there's just a lot going on with On the Air Sickled. And so in order for this to continue, of course, we need money in order to sustain our operation, right? So for our continued growth and development, please donate any monetary gift of any kind. The second aspect of our vision is to support sickle cell research. You heard earlier in the broadcast, Whitney talking about NIH. We want to support other organizations such as Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy, who has a class tomorrow. We want to make sure that we are educating and we are providing the resources necessary for our continued success in life as sickle cell warriors. So we need funds in order to do that. And then the last one is pretty dear to my heart, something that I believe that God has placed on my heart. I remember having to be in the hospital and being the only one working. I remember when, even when my wife was working, she would worry about, me being in the hospital and being alone and everything like that. But it's called the Flip the Bill campaign. What if you're in the hospital and you're unable to provide for your family? Whitney, for example, is a mother. She's in the hospital. Praise God, she's married. She has support. She says she has a great support system. But what if she was a single mother, right? And she had kids and she's in the hospital and we got to put on food on the table for the children. What if On the Air Sickled was able to take that medical experience, that bill, and pay for it for you? What if we were able to cover your next doctor's appointment? Just what if you don't have to worry about the financial stress as well as the sickle cell stress? Flip the Bill campaign was created for that. So we need your funds in order to support our efforts to support the sickle cell community. Also, again, I just want to make mention of our support group that's starting in October. Again, please follow our social media groups. That is starting soon. You can see it on the screen there. Our social media group gives us the opportunity to be able to connect with each other and kind of share our stories, our frustrations, our experiences, and hopefully provide a sense of hope. Make sure that you are connecting with us on all of our channels. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Amazon, Audible, iHeartRadio. So there's the information there for our YouTube. Make sure you click the notification so you never miss an episode of On the Air Sickle. Make sure you stay warm, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it is my pleasure to present to you this episode. And remember that you are never alone.